We have a cross stitch, we have a blanket stitch, we have a zigzag stitch, we also have a buttonhole stitch, as well as a basket stitch, a slip stitch, a standard forward stitch, a blind hem, and a back stitch, which is the one that I will be to the top, and I'm going to find the 9 on the measuring tape. Again, I'm going to place a marking right here, and I'm going to add another 0.5 under the 9. Okay, so what I'm going to do, you can get yourself a ruler. That will make it a lot easier for you to draw out. Okay, so I'm going to draw out the 9, and I'm going to draw out, make a line on the 9.5 as well. So with the 9.5 here, this little spacing is for the sewing allowance, meaning that I don't want it to be too small or too big, so I have room for error or for sewing anything I want to sew. So next up, I am going to go, excuse me, let me move this out of the way. I'm going to go to the tip of top again, and I'm going to measure 2.5, which is the shoulder length before the armhole. So I'm going to place a marking for 2.5 right here, and I'm going to go down 4.5 for the armhole. That is the marking that I was able to get from the obtained from the measurement that I took earlier. So I'm going to draw a line, go back to the top, draw another line from the tippy top, okay? Connect together. I'm going to write here, hole, okay? Just so I know what that is. So next up, what I'm going to do here, because I do not want it to be a sharp arm or sharp length, because the body is not a straight line, I am going to make a little curve right here. If you have a curved ruler, this is the best time to use it when you have this type of handles. So I want to create a curve marking right here. What you can also do is you can measure 0.5. You can go in like that and go to the middle. Since we have 4.5, you want to go to maybe 3. And you just want to draw your line starting from the number 3 and just connect it down to the 0.5 like that. I hope I'm not confusing you. So with that, it's a curve area, okay? And the same thing applies for the neck. So we don't want it to be except if you're making a dress that you want it to be a square shaped, you can leave it as is like this. Or if you want it to be curved, in this case I want it to be curved, so I'm just going to make a little curve right here. So lastly, I am going to measure the chest line, which is 23, and 23 divided by 2, that is, what is that, 11.5. So I'm going to mark 11.5 divided again by 2, that is, what is that, 9? 11.5, that's 5 point, let's just go with, you know what, I'm going to go with 12, okay, because of the sewing allowance. So I'm going to make a mark for 12, which is 6. If we divide 12 by 4, since we're working with 24 now, so that will be 6 in front, including the sewing allowance, and 6 on the side, 12 on the back as well. So if you want to go a little extra by adding a little bit more room for error or mistakes or whatever you would like to do, you can add an extra 1 inch, which is what I just did here by adding 1 inch right here. You want to draw the line into the waistline. Alright, so for the shoulder, to get us with the slope, the slanted shape right here, the shoulder line, what you want to do is you go to the 2.5 marking right here, and then you measure 0.5 down, okay? So once you have that measured, what you want is to connect the line from this point to that point, because you want the shoulder to be slanted, right? Slanted, not too much, but just you don't want it to be straight line because the fabric is not going to lay down perfectly. So once you have that, you do a line connecting the shoulder point to the shoulder marker right here, slanting it down, okay? So next up, since I'm done with the measurement for the bodice here, I am going to cut out the neck area and the armhole, so I can just be left with the pattern, okay? And like I mentioned, I'm not going to make any markers for the waistline because our little kids don't have the bodies that we adults have, so there's no need to make any type of marker on the waistline. Down 13 inches down for one layer and for another layer, and it's going to be gathered up like this for the pleats, and to gather it up as you've seen in several of my videos. Gather it up by itself, gather that's it, and the same thing like this at the end. We're going to pleat it forward like that. Pretty much going to put it together. Alright, so here's the bow. Just something small, simple. Alright, as you can see, this is the little strap that I did, and I folded around the bow. So this part is going to be stitch and stitch down to the dress, okay? around the waistline. Now this is the bottom of the dress. So we are going to hem it, okay? So we have two choices, either double folding it and doing a straight stitch, or you can first just use this stitch, the zigzag stitch at the bottom, and then folding it down. But this time around I am going to double fold it, then do a straight stitch. Okay,